One of the easiest and relatively inexpensive ways to get better braking out of the Raptor is to replace the rotors, the pads, and of course don't forget the fluid. So we brought it here to John's 4x4 in Boulder, and Ross, the new owner, has kindly decided to help us out, partnered with us on this video series, and he's going to do the work to get this Raptor up to a much higher off-road standard.
We're just positioning the feet of the lift underneath either the frame itself or the spring hanger here in the rear. Not the exhaust there, okay, there. Nice structural member to take the weight of the truck up in the air.
Check it out, guys, it's like Christmas. Our friends at Auto Anything have sent us, well, a whole complete and upgraded set of brake components. First of all, we've got these very heavy StopTech brake rotors, which are gonna make that Raptor stop a lot more efficiently. Then by posi-quiet, we've got some brake pads and of course, high performance brake fluid so that when we're coming down the mountain and we're using those brakes a lot and that fluid starts to heat up, this boils at a lot higher temperature so that we get much less fade.
Today we're working on a 2014 Ford Raptor. We're going to replace the stock brakes with performance rotors and pads, and then a performance fluid as well to increase the boiling point of the fluid. So we're going to go ahead and be taking the caliper off and then replacing the rotor, inserting new pads into the caliper, and reassembling.
How long of a job is that?
A brake job with pads and rotors is about 1.5 hours per axle, and then the fluid flush is it's probably going to run about an hour on the brake fluid exchange.
So is this a common upgrade that people do, or would people kind of do things like winches and suspension first?
You know, every vehicle out there is going to need brakes. Yeah. So this is a great upgrade for the Raptor. It's a great place to put, you know, just a few bucks. It's not a super high-end upgrade, but I think we're going to see some pretty noticeable performance gains on the brake fade and stopping.
All right, gang, here we have the old rear brake rotors. As you can tell, they're dirty from all of our Moab fun that we had. And here are the new ones. One of the differences between the old and the new are these slots. Basically, they're slotted rotors. And these slots help clear away some of the brake dust and the gases that heat the brake up when you're really using them. So hopefully, these will give us a little bit shorter stopping distance, even though, as you I'm sure know, most of the braking is done by the fronts.
Pads on. These are a directional rotor, so we get the right side on the passenger side of the vehicle and the left side on the driver's side of the vehicle. They're directional just because of the way that these slots are cut to dissipate that heat and dust out.
I think they catch some air too.
So we've got our rotor in place. Now we're going to go ahead and replace our brake pads in the rear caliper. This vehicle's got, I think, about 6,000 miles on it. So the original brakes didn't need replacement from a wear standpoint, but they do. The reason we're doing this is, again, for a little bit more performance. we're getting ready to switch out the fluid in the Raptor. We're going with a Performance .4 fluid by StopTech, and we're going to use a MightyVac vacuum bleeder that's going to clean the old fluid out of the system first at the master cylinder, and then we're going to actually flush all the way through all the brake lines until we get our new fluid in there. I'm just pushing the pads all the way out. There we go. Okay, go ahead.
So thanks to our friends at John's 4x4, we now have higher performance brakes and rotors on the Raptor. So there's only one thing left to do, and that of course is to take it back to the TFL test track, IMI Sports Park, and do another set of 60 to 0 runs to see if we're getting less fade and shorter stopping distances.